In this video, I'm going to be showing you exactly how to heat press the front and the back of a t-shirt using heat transfer vinyl from start to finish. And we're going to start right now. So I really want to take this opportunity to welcome you back to the channel and back to another tutorial video. And as mentioned before, we are going to be applying heat transfer vinyl to the front and to the back of a t-shirt using a personalized design. So we're going to be going through some steps from start to finish. We're not going to be jumping through anything. We're going to be walking through from start to finish. So make sure you stay connected with me from the start right down to the end. So what are we going to need to get started? I have my Cameo 4, I have my heat press. I'm going to be using 100% cotton t-shirt. I'm going to be using some heat transfer vinyl from Amazon. I will leave all the links down in the description. So let's jump into my computer, show you how you can put together a simple design, and then let's get to heat pressing and applying that heat transfer vinyl to the front and to the back of a t-shirt. So right now I am in the Silhouette Studio program, and for the front of the shirt I'm going to be creating and putting together a birthday design. So I'm going to be using a crown. I'm going to be using Queens Are Born on March 26. But the first thing I'm going to do is actually give it some color. So you can give your images or your design some color so you will know exactly how it would come out on the shirt. And as mentioned before, I am going to be using 100% cotton, and the color of the shirt is black and the size is medium. So for medium shirts, what I would normally do is resize my image to about 12 inches in width or 11 inches in width. For this particular shirt and this design, we're going to see how big we can get it on the mat. So I'm just applying and putting together the design, as you can see here. And I'm going to be using pink for the heart, the stars, and these three words are born on. And for Queen and March 26, I'm going to be using white vinyl. So this is just another way you can actually have a visual to see how your final design would look. So I'm just going to apply these different colors here, and then I am going to apply a black background just for the sake of this tutorial video, so you can see how it would come out on the back of a black shirt. So this is exactly how our design is going to look at the end when we press it on the shirt. So my next step now, or your next step, should be to group the image or group your design, and you want to make it as large as possible. And it all depends on the size of your shirt that you have. If you have a small t-shirt, then of course your design will be much smaller. If you have a large or extra large shirt, then your designs would vary depending on the size of the shirt. But for the medium shirt I'll be using, I personally like to use around 11 to 12 inches in width for my design. I like to make it as big as possible so it can take up the entirety of the shirt. So now that I know my design is big enough, I'm satisfied with this, what I am going to do is to flip the design so it can be in the reverse area. Make sure everything has been flipped properly. My next move now will be to apply white heat transfer vinyl onto my cutting mat, and then I'm going to apply that into my Cameo machine so it can cut out only the white. Afterwards, I will apply pink heat transfer vinyl onto the mat, and we will only cut out the pink. So let's go over to the Cameo, then come back into the Silhouette Studio program where I can show you the cutting settings that I personally use. So at this moment I'm going to apply the heat transfer vinyl onto the mat, And another thing to note, if you don't want to use the mat, you can actually cut your design without using the mat. You have your tray down here where you can actually place your vinyl in there, and you can use the cameo to cut your designs without using the mat. But in this case, I will be using the mat. Alright, one tip, I always place my vinyl just a little bit over the top mark. And what I'm going to do is feed my mat into the cameo. Let's jump back into the computer, show you the settings, and then we're going to get this running. Okay, so we have our white vinyl on our mat and already loaded into the cameo. So I'm going to pull away the pink first because we're going to be cutting our white. And we're going to go over to the scent panel. And the settings that I like to use is heat transfer smooth. I'm going to be using the auto blade. I like to use a blade of 3. And my force I will be using between 6 or 7. And this all depends on how long you had your blade. If your blade is getting to that point where it's getting dull. So I'm going to be using a force of 7. And I'm going to take up my speed to around 12. The next step will be to click on send. It's going to prompt me and ask me if I have mirrored my image already, which I have, and I'm going to send it as is. So let's go back over to the cameo so you can see that process. I'm going to take off this white vinyl. We're going to weed this out, but I'm going to place this pink. Remember, we are also going to be using pink. The design is white and pink. So I'm going to follow the same steps as I did for the first part of our design. Now we're about to cut the pink. I'm going to load the mat into the machine once again, and then we're going to cut out the pink section. Alright, now that our design is completed, what I'm going to do is to remove the mat. I'm going to turn off the cameo and remove it out of the way, and we're going to start weeding out the pink first. So we have both the white and the pink, and we are going to start from one corner and we're going to weed the entire pink, then we are going to weed the white. So we are now to the stage of applying heat transfer vinyl onto the shirt. The first thing I'm going to do is to place my shirt on the heat press plate. I'm going to take my lint roll, which you should get a lint roll, and I'm just going to roll it over the front of the shirt and also at the back of the shirt. The reason for this is to take some of those fibers, or if any extra cotton is on the shirt, you want to make sure you get as much as possible. Secondly, I am going to pre-press the shirt for about 2 to 3 seconds. By pre-pressing the shirt, it will take out some of the moisture out of the shirt. Now, just a tip for you, to find the middle of the shirt, you can use the tag as the center or the middle of the shirt, or you can fold the shirt in half. Once the shirt is folded in half, you can place it back on your heat press and you can press it, and it will give you the center or the middle. It will give you a line in the middle of the shirt. These are just 2 ways you can actually find the middle of your shirt. Another way also you can find the middle is by using a ruler. Now we have done those steps. I'm going to center my shirt on the heat press, and then I am going to apply the white heat transfer vinyl, which we've cut out first, and I'm going to place it in the middle of the shirt. So it's very important that you must note that you just do not apply your heat transfer vinyl or your design down in the middle of the shirt. You also have to take account for how high or how low your design have to go. Normally around 4 inches from the neck down is quite fine. Once you find your middle and find the right sizing and you're happy and you're comfortable, then you can apply your heat towards your design. Just a little advice: measure twice, press once. It's better to measure twice and press once. So now what we're going to do is apply 2 to 3 seconds onto this design. We're going to take it up, and then we're going to place down the pink design over this. So as mentioned before, we're just going to apply 2 to 3 seconds to this first design. Once it comes up, we're going to take our time and smoothly peel it off. And there we have our first layer. Our second layer will be to apply our pink stars and words. So I'm just going to line up the stars and the words. You can use your Teflon sheet to cover your design. So in this case, I'm going to use my Teflon sheet to cover my design. Okay, so now we are going to remove our Teflon sheet and remove the transparent paper, and then we have the front of our shirt completed. Now we move to the back of the shirt, and the first thing I'm going to do is to place this Teflon sheet on the heat press plate. I'm going to then place the shirt on the heat press, and the same methods we use for the front of the shirt we will use for the back. We're going to take our lint roll, we're going to roll and take off some of those extra cottons or fibers that may be lingering on the shirt. We're going to pre-press the shirt for 2 to 3 seconds to take out some of the moisture. Now we're going to apply the vinyl to the back of the shirt. And I'm going to use the same 4 inches from the neck down. Of course, if your image was much bigger, you can place it in the center. If you have a second sheet of Teflon, you can use it to place over your design. And then you're going to press for 15 seconds. And if you're getting value from this video, please make sure to smash that like button down below. All right, so we take off our Teflon sheet. Once our Teflon sheet is off, our next step now would be to reveal the shirt. So here we have the back of the shirt, tiers to 35, and then we have the front of the shirt here. So let me know down in the comment section what you think about this artwork, what you think about the layering of two different colors, white and pink. Let me know what you think about the process. And a question for you, would you ever think about doing a shirt like this? Leave all of your comments down below. So I want to thank you so much for joining in once again for another tutorial video. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.